Why am I not hearing? Why am I not hearing? Alright, we're live on YouTube and live on Plant Your Face in a Mud Puddle. Why am I not? God, the microphone has gone really low all of a sudden. Alright, ushers, bring Ron down to the front row. You know, the expensive straddle lounger recliners. And Ron, I would suggest the microwave version of flaming fillet of yak. All right, ushers, bring Kathy down unless she's at the ball game. If she's not at the ball game, bring her down, put her in the straddle lounger in the front row. Come on, ushers. Linda's lurking around. Don't let her near that concession stand. Oh, my God, please. If Linda's lurking back there, bring her down, put her in a straddle lounger right on the other side of Ron. That way, basically, he's got two absolutely gorgeous ladies on either elbow. And don't recline back all the way or you're liable to fall asleep. With great anticipation, we bring you the pride of the station, broadcasting from the basement storeroom of WDWL TV. And the pride of the station is, me, the grumpy old man. And idiot still got his frickin' unfair to vulture sign on, so who cares? So, how's everybody doing today? And I hope the mic is working, because I hit start and all of a sudden the mic quit and then it came back on, so I don't know what it sounds like. I didn't have time to test it. Some shit's always going on. So, I hope you can hear me, because I can barely hear me. It's never a dull moment. Just before showtime, Ron was saying that he didn't know what to make for dinner. I said, make the microwave version of flaming fillet of yak. Mike sounds good? Okay, thanks, Kathy. Yes, I think you can get that in the frozen section now. Flaming fillet of yak. And I sound good to Linda. Okay, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I hit start, and all of a sudden the mic shut off. I was like, oh, shit. Because a lot of times when it comes back on, it's so goddamn loud, I have to crank it down. I didn't even bother to touch it. Hey, Mrs. Emma's here. It sounds better than... I'll tell you what, I like this mic. I really do. I never even heard of it before. It's an Amoon. Ammoon. Amoon. It was... Matter of fact, this one was in the bottom drawer of my buddy's desk, so I don't know if he had planned on using it. The mic that he used when he was doing his podcast was like my golden mic. It was a $30 cheapie. And then he goes out and he spends thousands on microphones he never even takes out of the box. But now I have several of them. God, I miss him. Him and I would kibitz back and forth. I'm running out of friends. It's sad when you get up in age and the ticker is ticking, tick, tick, and the guy with the, the guy with the big sigh and the dark outfit standing there waiting, At least he went peacefully. He laid down in bed, hit the remote, and evidently the remote was dual purpose that night because it turned on the TV and shut off his ticker at the same time. In the last year, I've lost five friends, 3 real close ones. I make the joke now, it wasn't really too funny. My buddy came home from playing 36 holes of golf. Walked in the kitchen, sat down, lights out. I said, I ain't never playing golf. And with him, he had seen his primary care doctor about a week previous. And his primary care doctor said, man, your tests all come back really great. Your blood pressure's down now. I think the game of golf killed him. And like I say, my microphone buddy here. Man, that was tough getting that phone call in the morning. Because him and I had talked on the phone for about an hour and a half. After he got done with his podcast, he called me and he said, "Hey." I said, "Yeah." He said, "I just called to say hey." "Oh, okay. You want to talk?" "Yeah, okay." He always pull shit like that. He'd go, "I just called to say hey." And then I'd hang up and he'd go, "Wait a minute, I wanted to talk to you. What'd you hang up for?" I said, "Well, you just called to say hey." We were talking about the new soundboard he ordered. Like he needed another one. He had 3. He says, "Oh, this mixer, it's dual. XLR, USB." I says to him, you got 3. 2 of which you're not even using. "Oh, it's got a 5-star rating." I was like, "Okay, when it arrives, give me a call. I'll come over and check it out with you." Got a call in the morning. I'm thinking, gee, that thing arrived fast. Only for his wife to say, you won't be coming over to see the new mixer. All right, enough bad news. I just basically, when the Grim Reaper shows up, I hope I'm sleeping. I don't know if I missed anything. I haven't been paying attention to the chat. What did before we started, Linda? Anything I missed, or is that something between you and Ron and the chat? Man, I went up to the store and got out of the truck and stubbed my toe. Oh, man. It hurts like hell. They have it's maybe about an inch difference in the parking lot and the concrete. And I'm usually paying attention. And today I wasn't. Dunk! Oh, ow, 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 ow. The thing will probably be multicolored, purple, blue, and green in the morning. And it figures, I got to go see the podiatrist on the 1st. I hope all the discoloration is gone by then. All right, Mrs. M, play your game. There was some judge that mentioned Warcraft the other day. I was like, really? It wasn't Judge Fleischer. I know that. He plays something else. That's like, I got a follow-up. I like some of these websites that do follow-ups. Because you never know what the settlement is. Well, this guy got an offer for 7 years. And he turned it down, saying, I'm taking my chances at trial. I'm going to win. They're going to find me not guilty. This is a trumped-up charge. Well, the follow-up, the jury found him guilty, and the judge gave him 45 years. I bet you he wished he took the 7. I like watching, what's her name? Judge West. Oh, man. There's a lot of times she goes for the max. The look on defendant's eyes is like, what? Yep. I like when she tells him, I wish I could have given you more time. But the cap was 10 years, so you're getting 10. Otherwise, I'd give you 20. Oh, okay, Linda. I have to pay more attention to the chat, and I tend to start rambling and just going on and on and on. I got into a fight at the goddamn Indian store today. I was digging through all the 2-liter bottles. And I happened to find one more Cherry RC Cola for $1.49. And I get up to the register, and the woman standing next to me goes, where did you get that? I said, back on the shelf. I looked through all them bottles. You must have had it hidden. I said, it's obvious you didn't look through all the bottles because I found this one in the back. I think it should be mine. I said, I think maybe you should go back and dig through the bottles and maybe you might find another one. Yeah, I think it should be mine. You looked through all the bottles on the shelf. Evidently you didn't pay close attention. I really wanted to say you didn't bend your fat ass over and look on the bottom shelf because that's where I found it. But I didn't want to get in no trouble. Yeah. Are you sitting? I told that to the arm poker. I asked her, I said, did you ever happen to know Sherry? She, oh yes, her and I are friends. Well, you know why Sherry's no longer here? Oh yeah, she told me some customer bitched about her. I said, oh really? Oh yeah. I guess this patient really laid it on thick. I said, oh really? Oh yeah. He, well, she didn't know it was a he. She just going, oh yeah, this patient just, went right to the top. I said, did she happen to tell you, like, why this complaint came about? Oh, it was something about needles. Well, you guys use needles all the time. She didn't go into detail? No. I said, well, I'm that patient. And she was like, the eyes got like two saucers, like, I didn't do anything wrong, did I? I said, well, almost. Considering you were rubbing my arm with alcohol and not reading the blood work order, but otherwise everything seemed to work out all right after you put the needle where it was supposed to go. Oh yeah, Kathy, the customer standing there telling me I should give her the bottle of cherry RC cola because I happened to find the bottle she was looking for. I find it and I'm supposed to give it to her. Oh, 4207, you're as bad as Ron. Only 6 kids? Sure you didn't mean 16? Wait, yeah, she could have gone across the street. I'm sure that the beverage store across the street probably had some. Oh, I was supposed to hand her mine. Oh, here. Sorry you didn't bend your fat ass over and look on the bottom shelf. That was the bottle I was looking for. Well, it's obvious you didn't find it. I wouldn't have the nerve to say that to somebody. You should give me that bottle because I couldn't find it. I just don't understand. You should give that to me because I was looking for it. Well, it's obvious if I found it. You didn't look very hard. I mean, not Coke and Pepsi don't have a label like this. Not to mention it has a yellow band with $1.49, so you didn't look very hard. Because it stands out. I mean, if this was in between a Coke and a Pepsi 2-liter, it stands out with a big, huge RC. She couldn't find it. I found it on the bottom shelf, behind a bunch of 2-liter 7-Up bottles. 7-Up bottles are green. I spotted this behind all them green bottles with no problem. And I was supposed to hand it to her and say, "Oh, I'm sorry this was yours." If it wasn't, then it was the last one. And there was one more. Oh, I would have done that. And then I'd have told her, I think there's one left down there. Your Walmart and Fry's didn't no RC at all, or no cherry RC special sale? Because the delivery man said it's a nationwide. It's not just limited to, like, you know, the East Coast or the Midwest. Unless they're tied up in shipping. None at all. Wow. Although, not being a Walmart shopper, I don't know if Walmart even carries RC, because I think Walmart has their own brand of pop, don't they? Their own generic brand. A lot of times a store would rather push their own generic brand than a kind of obscure, because RC is a tad obscure. Matter of fact, me and my neighbor up the street were talking about RC. And she's a couple of years younger than me, and she goes, "God," she goes, "back when I was young, you saw RC everywhere." I said, "Yeah, it was big back in the day." I think, I could be wrong, I think Elvis drank RC. If not him, one of the 40s, 50s. If it wasn't Elvis, one of the famous singers drank RC. Because that's why RC was like everywhere. I want to say Elvis, but I could be wrong. But RC, they were in every, no matter where you bought pop, RC was big. Bigger than Coke and Pepsi at the time. It was Elvis? I thought so. That's like, to this day, in Jay Leno's garage, there is a huge pop cooler. And it's filled with RC. And other RC related products, you know. But Jay Leno he is imbibed in RC Cola since he was a teen. But I remember the gas station up the street had a big RC Cola. I wish I would have stolen the sign before they painted it over. Yeah, they painted the building. Instead of taking down the very collectible RC Cola sign, they sprayed over it. I was like, you're painting the building. You couldn't take the sign down? God, there's collectors for that shit all over the place. It's like, I got a buddy, he's got a 29 Model A. He has a 1930 air-cooled Franklin. And a pink and white Crown Victoria. And he built a special garage for him. It looks like an old gas station. And he goes to Hershey, Pennsylvania to the big car meet and bought gas pumps and put the gas pumps in front of the garage, and then the whole garage is covered in every gas station sign, Pepsi sign, Coke sign, RC Cola sign. So there's collectors out there for all that shit. You know, Linda, everybody's got an excuse. Hey, Wyatt, how are you, buddy? Good seeing you. You know, like when I go up to Mark's and I can't find a product, and I get this, vendor, oh, we're not getting that from our vendors. Well, then find a new vendor. Find a vendor that carries that product and can supply it to you. You know, they finally could no longer use the old COVID excuse. God, everybody milked that to death. Well, Wyatt, take it easy, buddy. I'm sorry to hear you had a rough day. Are you guys having a heat wave over there too, like we are? You know, it was like in the beginning of 2024, and stores were still milking the old fucking COVID. Oh, due to COVID, that was 4 years ago, asshole. And you're still hearing it. People miss court. Oh, I think I have COVID. What? That was 5 years ago. And if they get questioned, it's lingering COVID. Really? It's been lingering for 5 years? Yeah, I actually heard that in court one day. I have lingering COVID. Yeah, our heat wave is supposed to be toning down. We're supposed to be getting a little rain tonight. I mean, it's 88 right now, and the humidity feels like 98. Yeah, Wyatt, people will use anything if they think like a judge is going to believe it. Of course, the judge didn't buy it, lingering COVID. And then the judge, have you had that checked out? No, but I read on the website, what the symptoms are. Well, I'm not saying I doubted this person, but yeah, there are some people that truly have had reoccurrence after reoccurrence. They just can't get rid of it. But it's a convenient excuse in court. And then the judge called them out and told them, I want a note from your physician. Well, I'll take 71. Like I say, it's 88 here. I mean, I lost a dear friend to COVID. And she had every shot and booster imaginable because she was working in a school cafeteria. And the shocking thing was, her and I, every night would be in her car face to face without masks, talking and smoking. And luckily, I didn't get it. Not to mention my mother at 98 years old. Of course, she just had to go on the senior outing that everybody told her not to go out on. Well, being the sissy, I haven't had none of the immunizations. Like a friend of mine was like, they're free. Well, then you go and get mine for me. I know they're free. They also have big needles. Well, Ron, just put it in the fridge. And then when they act like they're hungry, bring it out. Holy flaming fillet of yak. 4 times? Ah, damn. Jesus Christ. I wonder if it happened to be in the transplant. Although, if you really want to pick up a disease, go to a hospital. Jesus Christ, Ron. Are you totally clear of it now? Do you get checked on a regular basis? Oh, good. Let's hope it comes out negative. Yeah, Kathy, people are supposed to go to hospitals to get well. They go to hospitals and get every fucking disease under the sun. Yeah, that's like I say. You go in a hospital well, and you come out sick. They're just disease pits. I would like to ask every nurse and technician that comes near me, when was the last time you had a total, complete physical and blood workup? Yeah, I've heard that. You lose your sense of smell and you lose your sense of taste. Oh yeah, Linda. Emergency rooms are cesspits of every fucking disease known to man. Yeah, my buddy's sister had COVID, and that was, God, back in 2022, and she still hasn't got her sense of smell back or her taste buds. She said no matter what she eats, it's just bland. No taste whatsoever. Because I asked her, I said, if I put hot sauce on your tongue, would you feel it? She went, nope. Not at all. She'll go out to eat and people will be raving about how good the food tastes, and she's like, don't taste like nothing. I don't know what would be worse, not having my taste buds or not being able to smell. Because you really need your sniffer. And you need your taste buds, but I don't know which one I would miss more, taste or smell. I would miss them both on an even level, but I think I could get around losing my sense of smell. Yeah, Kathy, my buddy's sister, since 2022, 3 years. She still can't smell anything and can't taste a damn thing. And the doctor keeps saying, well, it'll come back. She said, you've been telling me that for 3 years. Matter of fact, I've heard some people that actually got the injections, the same shit happened. They lost their sense of taste and their sense of smell. That's why I didn't trust it. Not to mention that big needle. You know, the one that went in one side of your arm and come out the other. Yeah, Kathy, you would figure modern medicine, right? They can't explain why that happened. Kind of scary. Yeah, we don't know. That's one thing I never like to hear from a doctor. I don't know. Shit happens. Really? You're going to tell me shit happens? Yeah, I've heard some people with the first injection were fine. When they got the booster, that's when it happened. But you know, they were under the gun. They had to come up with a vaccine. Vaccines are tested for years. This one, 6 months. It's good. God, look how many goddamn tests that drug companies have to go through in order to get a drug approved. But like I say, they were under the gun. They had to come up with a vaccine. To me, it wasn't tested long enough. And I argue with my goddamn doctor all the time. Don't you think you should get... No. 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 Last time he mentioned, I said, don't mention it anymore. You and I argue about enough shit. I'm tired of arguing about this. I didn't come to the doctor's office to argue. Bad enough I'll be getting in an argument July 8th. I am not looking forward to that visit. I'll be eating cardboard and cellophane and all my favorite foods will get cut out. And I'm afraid he's going to put me on fucking cholesterol medication. Oh, God, another pill. Oh, that's sad to hear, Linda. Oh, believe me, Ron. No sissy here. I'll listen to what he has to say. And then as soon as I leave the office, I'll forget what he said. Well, you know what I tell them, Kathy? I hear what you got to say. It's my body. I will make my own informed decision. I'm listening to what you have to say, but it's my decision in the end. And if he tries to give me a goddamn prescription, I'll say, well, you can send it. I'll make up my mind if I'm going to fill it. As a matter of fact, there is a prescription that's been sitting for over a year from my one doctor. I told him, you can send the prescription to the pharmacy gladly. Whether I tell the pharmacist to fill it is my decision. And if he starts giving me a rash of shit about foods, I'm just going to tell him, I hear what you say. I will consider it. But in the end, I think this body belongs to me, and I think this brain is capable of making an informed decision. Period. Well, Mrs. M, if I would get to the point where I would be totally miserable, then okay, I might try your medications. But right now, I'm not feeling, well, pain-wise. But besides the pain, now, Linda, I take that shot for two reasons. First of all, after going through chemo, my immune system isn't the best. And second of all, they use a insulin syringe, and the sissy don't feel it. But when they come out with that needle that's about 6 inches long, sorry. And I asked the doctor, if you can give me certain injections with that little needle, why can't you give me all with that little needle? Well, yeah, I should quit smoking, but it's a rotten habit, expensive habit. And I do try to eat somewhat on the healthy side, but I also like to cheat. Because I know he would tell me, okay, no more, and I do get the low sodium natural casing hot dogs. And, he'll tell me, okay, no more Slovenian, spicy sausage. I don't go overboard. I do eat in moderation. I've been on a salad kick now for 3 weeks and loving it. I hadn't realized how much I miss salad. And then yesterday, I go into Save-A-Lot, and I needed some more bagged salad. And the guy in the produce department went, "Are you going to be eating this tonight and tomorrow?" I said, "Well, yeah." He said, "Put them back." He said, "Here, I've got these. They got to be eaten within 2 days. I'll give it to you for 50 cents a bag." Okay, here we go. Do, do, do. So I got iceberg romaine blend and Italian blend, and I put them in the container and shook them up, and I have Italian and romaine iceberg blend. Well, like I say, I tell the doctor, go ahead, send the prescription to the pharmacy, and I'll make the decision if I'm going to have the pharmacist fill it. And then, on the way out of the building, I tell the pharmacist, put a note on there not to bug the shit out of me. I'll decide when I'm going to fill it. Because I hate when I call in and order my, refills. They go, we have this prescription for, blah, blah, blah. No, I don't want it filled. Yeah, but we've had it for like 6 months. Well, that's okay. It's safe. You have it. It's not like I took it home and lost it. You have it on file in your magic computer system. And if I want it, well, Mrs. M, doesn't that kind of put your resistance level a little bit on the low side? I know a friend of mine had that removed, and he had to take a shitload of meds to compensate. I don't know my anatomy too well as to where it's located, but I've known a lot of people that have got into pretty nasty auto accidents, and it always seems like they got to get their spleen removed. Well, I cut out 90% of the junk food. I do cheat with my Lawson's chip dip now and then. Now see, I've had my fill. So, I haven't been back for any. See, once I get my fill, I'm done. I'll be good for about 6 months. And since I can't eat my favorite poppy seed anymore, I don't have to worry about the poppy seed kuchens and all the poppy seed delicacies I used to love. That really pisses me off. I keep saying, boy, thank God I didn't get a poppy seed roll for Easter. Oh, man. I'd have been in a shitload of trouble. Because in a drug test, it comes up like cocaine. Or a cocaine derivative. Linda, when you go into the ER, don't you ask them to like quarantine you in a corner at the other end? Well, Mrs. M, you think if I buy a goddamn poppy seed roll, I'm only going to have one slice? No, this pig is going to eat all of it. With butter. Nothing like a nice slice of poppy seed roll slathered with some good old butter on it. Yes, I have been informed by my pain management doctor I am not allowed to eat anything with poppy seeds. I told him, I said, you don't know how close you came, buddy, to me testing in a bad way, because I almost bought one at Easter. Well, don't you ever listen to Judge Dad? When he gives all the rules and regulations and he goes, and no poppy seed. I'm not taking no chances. I could get booted out of the pain management program. Although when I meet with the big shot next month, I'm going to bring that point up. I'm going to tell him it's bad enough you fucked up my medication. Now I can't eat what I want. And he'll say, well, what do you want? I says, I'm Hungarian. We grew up on poppy seed, dickhead. Well, Mrs. M, I guarantee if I bought a 5-pound, I'd eat 3 in one sitting. No, I don't have to have it. I would like to. I miss it. I grew up on it. Especially with my grandmother making all the, besides the poppy seed, the nut roll, the klutchkis or kolaches or whatever the hell you call them, bow ties. And my grandmother was generous with the poppy seed. Yeah, whatever you call them. I'm trying to think. She used to make... What the hell? She had this real thin, tiny little pan. And she put batter on it. And then she would put poppy seed or cream cheese and roll them up. I can't remember what she called them. Like blintzes, but something else. If she could figure out a way to put poppy seed in something, she did. I can't remember what the hell. She had this special little, real thin little skillet. And the batter was like water. She put the batter in and then flip them over real quick and put them on a plate, fill them and roll them up. And put powdered sugar on after she rolled them up. I can't remember what she called them. I called them roll-ups. God, I miss all that food. Oh, man. Oh, I forgot to bring my Reader's Digest in. They're talking about specialty foods from every state. I'll have to bring it in tomorrow. It's pretty interesting. Foods I never even heard of. And some of it sounds really tasty, too. Yeah, they pick one specialty food from every state, like what the state is known for. I was just reading about it earlier today in my little skinny Reader's Digest. God, Reader's Digest used to be 350 pages. Now it's like a leaflet. They barely make 100 pages. Yeah, Linda, they mention foods that a state is known for. And it was really interesting. I'll bring it in tomorrow, and we'll go through them, because it lists every state. And some of it really sounds interesting. You know, like favorite diner food or stuff like that, you know. I mean, like, you know, like Texas. It's known for steak and eggs. Every diner, steak and eggs. They call them skegs. Steaks. You order steaks, and you get steak and eggs. Yeah, but aren't they little tiny little thing? It's like a leaflet. God, the leaflets in the doctor's wall rack are thicker than. I remember Reader's Digest. I had some old ones from the 90s and 2000s. They're 310, 350, 370 pages. Now they're lucky to make 100. I'll never forget, I got a coupon, you know, introductory $12 a year. I'm like, okay. I got the first one, and I was like, where's the rest? I couldn't believe how thin it was. Because in some of my landlord's leftover junk, I found a big box in the basement. And it was Reader's Digest from like 90 to 2000. So I started reading the old ones because I didn't read them from. And then I was like, oh, I'll subscribe. You can almost see through it. That's like for years I subscribed to National Geographic. I can almost imagine how thin that one is. But you know, everybody wants to get away from print. I want to hold it in my hand. That's why I used to order, God, I used to get 4 different auto magazines. I used to get an electronics magazine. I used to get Reader's Digest. Then I started cutting them back because they got so goddamn expensive. Matter of fact, I had... Oh, I don't know where I put it. Yeah, Reader's Digest is like $70 a year. We're close. For that little thing? And then I don't think you get 12. I think you get 10. You know, you don't even get a full year. But when you come down to it, who reads them? Us. Seniors. Younger generation will read them. God, I couldn't believe it the other day. I actually saw magazines in a doctor's office. For the longest time, well, when COVID hit, God, I remember my one doctor, I think he subscribed to every magazine on earth. His wall rack looked like a library. You'd go in there, there'd be golf magazine, tennis magazine, automotive magazine, a magazine on magazines, every sport imaginable, football, baseball, hockey. He must have spent a fortune on magazines. Yeah, Ron, but aren't you a little depressed at how little it is? Like I say, it used to be over 300 pages. Now it's about the size, thickness of a leaflet. That was like when, of course, this was around and after COVID. I subscribed to 4 different auto magazines. You know, Motor Trend and Car and Driver and that. When I get done reading it, I would take them to the doctor's office and put them around the office. And the next time I come in, they'd be gone. So finally I asked the receptionist, I said, hey, I bring these in to recycle them. Oh, the cleaning crew has orders to throw them away. I thought I was doing people a favor. You have to wait so goddamn long. You need something to read. National Geographic's gotten thin. Yeah. They used to be at the end of the checkout counter, but I haven't seen a National Geographic in the magazine rack for years. All you see is magazines with the douchebaggians in it. I couldn't believe today I'm reading different news stories. Get the Kardashians' take on Jeff Bezos' wedding. Like, they're newscasters, like they know what they're talking about. Like I care. You know, Ron, back in the late 70s, I had a National Geographic collection with National Geographics that went back to the 1900s. And I would go everywhere looking for National Geographic magazines. And when I decided to donate them, nobody wanted them. I said, my collection goes back to 1900. We don't have room for them, or we don't have interest in them. I ended up dropping them all at Goodwill. And they really didn't want them either, but matter of fact, tomorrow I'll grab it. I think I've got a Reader's Digest from 1902 or something. It's an oldie. I don't know why I saved that one, but well, you're lucky they took them, Ron. Our library didn't want them. Because I was going to deliver them to the Main, downtown. No. I said, well, you could put them in your archives, you know, somebody might be doing research on something. No. Because I can't remember what my buddy's son did his thesis on for his PhD. And he started with like National Geographic in 1900, because every so many years they like revisit a certain item, and he used National Geographic from 1900 all the way up until 1980 or 1990 or something. Well, it's wonderful they took them and wonderful they did that. I'll have to travel up there and see the Ron Bezoid Library. God, I remember there were so many magazines back in the day. There was a magazine for just about everything. God, I remember going in the drugstore and there was a whole 40-foot wall magazine rack. There were magazines for everything. Now you go in the drugstore and the magazine rack is at the end of the checkout counter. And every one of them is talking about the douchebaggians. Yeah, that article today. Whichever Kardashian went to Jeff Bezos' wedding. Get her take on the wedding, reception, dinner, whatever. Oh, yeah, good old Mad Magazine and National Lampoon. Oh, yeah. Alfred E. Newman, let me worry. They finally gave up printing Mad Magazine. Oh, I couldn't wait every month when the new issue came out. That was one magazine that up at the deli, it always was gone right away. Every young kid ran in and bought the newest issue of Mad Magazine. That was a great magazine. It really was. Those guys had really inventive minds. Just goes to show sometimes drugs work wonders. Matter of fact, the other day I saw an Alfred E. Newman t-shirt. They're reprinting them again. Kids nowadays don't know who the hell he is. What, me worry? They're like, who's that? I was tempted to order one. Just to see how many people would recognize him. Because you definitely know the younger generation have no idea who Alfred E. Newman is. Is he a TV star? Alfred E. Newman. Did he play on Seinfeld? No. And I remember my aunt, I would always have to get her the newest issue of TV Guide magazine. Oh, God, I forgot all about Cracked. Yeah, there was another one from back in the day. Yeah, my aunt knew exactly the day the new TV Guide came out. Go up and get me a TV Guide. I'll give you a nickel. Okay. Do they still print TV Guide? I haven't seen that in the news racks, although I don't pay much attention. I couldn't tell you what magazine it's. I remember I had a neighbor did the crossword and the word find, and I don't even know if you still can get them. I'd go up and get her the word find, and like 2 days later, she was done with it. You went through that whole magazine that fast? I was bored. God, Cracked magazine. I haven't heard it. Oh, man, that brings back memories. And they said those magazines were bad for kids. They're giving them the wrong impression. I think I grew up fairly normal. Reading Mad Magazine every month didn't screw my head up. At least I wasn't playing some video game. Well, yeah. Pong. Remember Pong? Or Frogger. Kids look at that shit today and go, Pong? Bonk, 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 bonk. The original game from the invention of the graphic interface. We thought that was so cool. You actually had moving things on a screen. And that was big back in the day. Yeah, I liked Frogger. He got killed a lot. There were a lot of dead frogs when I played the game. Now, what the hell was it? Atari game console? And we thought that stuff was really cool. And you look at it today and go, it didn't really do much. But it was fun. Although I didn't have many game consoles. My father thought they were a waste of money. Go outside and play Frogger in the traffic. I'll buy you a frog suit. Dash in between cars. That was his attitude. You want to play Frogger? Here, put on a frog suit. Go run back and forth across traffic in the freeway. You can play the live version. Oh boy. You still have one? Really? And it's operational? Oh my God. I would love to see that. You know, that's worth big money. The original Atari game consoles and the first Nintendos, they're bringing big money. Matter of fact, I read a couple weeks ago, a guy had an Atari game console still in the box. It never came out of the box. And it sold for like $150,000. I was like, Jesus. And yours still works. How cool. That's a collector's item right there. Oh, I dragged out my camera and I went over and I took a shitload of pictures of the Passat. I didn't pay attention originally. Man, has it got some paint delamination on the hood and the roof and the trunk? I guess it ain't gonna rub out that well. But I can't wait to get it over here. Start working on it. Again, I checked, it's only a 5-speed. Over in Germany, they were 6. But the vehicles that got exported to the United States were only 5. Man, I was looking forward to having a 6-speed. Yeah, I did a little research today. All the German Passats and Audis had 6-speeds in 2001. We still had the 5. Now, I'm glad it has 5, but it would have been nice to have 6. And it has a cassette player. Oh boy. I can dig out my big box of cassettes now. I hope it works. Because boy, do I have some collector's item cassettes. Yeah, the interior's going to need a good cleaning. But that's all right. I can't legally drive it until January. Now, I will tool around the block with it. But can't be driving out on the main roads. Because it isn't exempt until January 1. Then on January 2, I'll be in the license bureau going, give me my license plates. Where's your green form? I don't need one. Take a look at the title. It says 01. It's 25 years old. Exempt. Give me my plates. Yeah, that just irritates them. Like when the shitbox finally turned 25 years old. The girl sitting there going, I don't see your green form. I don't need a green form. Yes, you do. Take a look at the title, sweetheart. Oh. You're lucky. Yes, I am. Because I don't have to get that stupid inspection done. And if I want, I could rip off the catalytic converter. Yeah, you don't see too many 25-year-old vehicles. In a way, I wish I didn't have to wait till January, but that's okay. I can wait. But I will be doing a little road testing around the neighborhood. I remember when COVID hit, everybody got a reprieve for a year. You could drive around on expired license plates. And boy, did everybody take advantage of that. Yeah, the governor issued an executive order. And it was really strange seeing all the cars with expired plates. And the police couldn't do nothing. But then, come January the next year, oh man, I felt sorry for everybody that worked at the BMV. People were in line for miles. I do mine online. Send. And then my letter carrier just, here's your plates. Thank you. I don't have to go stand in no frickin' line. Well, that's the end of the coffee. I think we'll call it a night. Show again tonight, and everyone have a wonderful rest of your evening, and we will meet again tomorrow right here. Take care, everybody.